Hello, 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 Transurfer and the Transurfing Curious. My name is Renee Garcia, guys, and this is TransufingTV. And today on TransufingTV, one of the Hacking the Technogenic System lessons, Chapter 13, I'm hungry and cold. I think this is like, a very nostalgic state of being for Vadim Zeland in Russia. It's kind of fucked up. Okay, so as you may have heard me talk about on previous discussions about Vadim Zeland's raw food thing, I believe this is going to have to do with food. I haven't read it yet, but I have a very different diet. I'm doing extremely well because I have chosen this diet for myself after years and years and years of experimenting with every diet possibly known to man, and I have the best health I've ever had. I'm toned. I have vitality. I have energy. My brain functions at a high level. I'm rocking it, and I really do attribute a lot of my current success to my diet, which is not the right raw diet, right? It's not the raw diet. So when I read this stuff, I'm just reading this because I want to relate to you all as you are interested in this, what Vadim's words are. I don't agree with this. I don't endorse this. I endorse you picking the right diet for you, paying attention to how food actually makes you feel and function, and you doing the best thing for you, regardless of what works for someone else. Before I get started on this, remember to like this video, subscribe to this channel, comment below, join us on the Facebook group. Course links down below, check them out. Join our VIP here. We have some amazing surprises coming, really cool stuff that is not going to be available publicly, and it's going to be awesome, and there's already quite a bit of stuff in there as well. And follow me on Instagram, reality_transurfing. Okay, let's get into it. It's a little long, so I'm just going to run through it as fast as I can. I often receive messages containing questions like, all of my efforts to find living food have flopped, so where do I find it? I am cold and hungry, and I feel cold because I am hungry, and I feel hungry because I feel cold. There are no fresh and living plants. I have to search for it under the snow? Okay, so obviously this is a very Russian lesson. Well, let's turn to the topic of searching for food. If you really do not know what to eat in the winter, then it is still too early for you to completely switch to a diet of 100% living food. In the meantime, do your research to learn more about living food and all that is associated with it. There is a lot of information on the internet and in libraries developed by experts who have accumulated useful experience in this field. I do not recommend that you accept everything that is said about nutrition from television or social media, especially about living food, because it is often discussed by people who do not have experience in this field. Remember, the major media is sponsored by major corporations. When the harsh truth about popular food is revealed, ask yourself who actually benefits from this revelation. If you come down into the auditorium, you will be able to see the entertaining show that is being performed on the stage. If the food producers are the ones who are harmed by the harsh truth, then the field of medicine wins. If the damage affects the interests of the decorative materials, then the pharmaceutical industry wins. If a particular corporation or industry is vilified by the portrayal of harsh truths, then another corporation or industry wins for the moment. This is the way information is presented as entertainment in many fields, not just nutrition. This is a relentless and ongoing war between major pendulums. Their goal is to engage us, the consumers, in order to feed on the energy of our ignorance or complacency. Do not engage in this battle by taking sides, even in your own mind. Instead, avoid taking the bait and watch what is happening from a distance, just as you would when watching a circus performance. In this way, you will realize that what is happening is just another circus. If you do not know the true cost of your food choices or the true cost of defaulting to the choices presented to you, feel free to break the rules. Do this within your own integrity of dealing with others. For example, order a fresh salad without making a show of it when eating out with others. If you choose to adopt a diet of living foods, it will be appropriate for you to adhere to the following principles during your transition. 1. Until you are completely committed to an exclusive diet of living foods, create a transition program that supports your level of commitment to eating more living foods over time without creating a self-blame situation. Allow exceptions, knowing that you will eat less dead or harmful food over time. 2, when you make an exception, give preference to items that actually have some nutritional value. Do not eat anything just for the sake of eating. 3, useful and valuable foods are those that have high nutritional value and are better suited to cleanse the body of impurities. 4, do not follow the principles of abstinence. Instead, replace non-living foods with others of greater nutritional value. So what I like to say about that is, like, I really do believe it's more important what you do eat than what you don't eat. So deprivation, or saying something's all bad, or saying, oh, I can't have a hamburger, or I can't have a piece of pizza, or any of that stuff, I think it's more valuable to focus on actually eating nutritional stuff and then just allow yourself, when you want, for the sake of entertainment, to have the hamburger or the piece of pizza. That's what works for me. I don't focus on what I don't eat. I focus on what I do eat, which obviously falls right in line with my overall philosophy for life, right? Don't focus on what you don't like, focus on what is working. So I eat tons and tons and tons of raw organic leafy greens, kales, locally grown lettuce, all kinds of microgreens, sprouted things, raw vegetables, but I also eat things that obviously Vadim is speaking out against here: grilled meat, fish. I eat a lot of dairy, but for me, this has been, I won't get into the details here, but I was dairy free for nearly 15 years of my adult life. Once I started to eat dairy, I had a bunch of health stuff that was going on completely clear up, and it has been amazing. Stuff that I was really challenged to get under control for a long time. So, you know, it really comes down to eating what works for you, focusing on nutrition, right? What is of greater nutritional value, turning the volume up on that and turning the volume down on the lower frequency foods. 5, finally, do not forget the most important principle. The transition to eating fresh plant food should be done gradually in accordance with your comfort level. Do not force yourself through excessive willpower or cause yourself undue stress. Hence, this chapter can be summarized through the following points. 1, there is a nearly forgotten vegetable with many health benefits, the turnip. A turnip contains a large portion of calcium, iron, and potassium. It is superior to a lemon because it contains vitamin C as well as a lot of phosphorus and magnesium. It works to prevent cancerous tumors. It strengthens the teeth and skeleton, as well as to clean and protect the digestive system. Because of its high nutritional value, the turnip was popular as the food of pyramid builders. 2, so far we are not talking about complete living nutrition, but about the exceptions and appendices to be added to the diet. The goal here is that if you must violate the principle of living nutrition, do it rationally. Minimize the exceptions so that you continue to increase the benefits to your body. 3, wild rice, like the turnip, is not easy to find in the market because most people are completely ignorant of nutritional issues. They do not know anything about it and do not want to know because they only eat what is convenient. When you get used to practicing this new transurfing, which includes eating natural living foods, you become a member of the elite club. Isn't that what transurfing is like? We're not supposed to really put ourselves into the place of being elite. I'm sorry, I'm calling bullshit on that one. 4, with regard to commercially cooked or processed vegetables and their factories, it is better not to use them in the winter. Rather, it is better to shift your attention to seaweed, cabbage, and pickles because the nutritional value of food from the commercial factories is much lower than the nutritional value of natural plants. So do not regularly consume these kinds of foods unless you can ascertain that no artificial fertilizers were used in their cultivation. However, it is acceptable to use supermarket vegetables as you will not be harmed by most of them, but it would be better to avoid products from countries that do not belong to the European Union to avoid harmful genetically modified foods. I'm not even going to get into that. 5, it is better to buy seasonal fruits that ripen in natural conditions, such as bananas, oranges, tangerines, lemons, pineapples, and other fruits that can be consumed without serious concerns. When their shape is natural, their taste and smell are also normal. Bananas and other fruits, if normal, are known to spoil quickly and have black spots on their skin. 6, indigestion is the condition in which a person gets sick in his biological environment as a result of eating fermented bread, dead food, and convenient meals that have been manufactured. Particularly, all inhabitants of the earth suffer from indigestion. This disease appears through the decreased ability of the body to efficiently convert energy and the decreased immunity of the digestive system. Although a person may eat a large quantity of food, he only benefits from a small percentage of it. 7, in general, you will never feel hungry if you have this information and know where to get good food. In order to know this, you must commit to achieve the goal of a living food diet. This will be enough. If it is difficult for you to choose the food that you can eat in the winter, it is still too early for you to completely switch to the diet of only living nutrition. Do not rush yourself, go step by step. 9, you can eat living nutritional food while lowering some exceptions. 10, give preference to items that actually have some nutritional value. Do not just eat for the sake of eating. 11, the food that is useful for the body contains high nutritional value and contributes to its purification. 12, do not follow the principles of abstinence. Instead, use the principles of substituting higher nutritional food for the lower nutritional foods. 13, the transition to living nutrition should be done gradually, commensurate with your level of experience and level of awareness. Do not force yourself through willpower or cause yourself undue stress. Plants are generally considered to be the basis for living nutrition in any season of the year. They directly answer these most urgent questions. What do we eat in winter? How do we replace proteins? How do we replace vitamins and amino acids? What do we eat in general? If all the available food is chemically and genetically modified. The nutritional advantage of plants is that they are superior to stored beans of any kind. For example, sprouted grains do not contain genetically modified organisms. Consequently, they contain all the substances that the body needs, including these obtained from animal products. Getting herbs with high nutritional value is not difficult because you can grow them in your own pots by the windows. If you want to know more about plants, read Natalia Caro's book, Plants, Live Food, The Simplicity of Nutrition. Additional information may be found on this website. It's called ozon.context. Note 1, this chapter just gives an overview of living food, the food that is not cooked by fire or heat. If you are interested in learning more, then do your own research. There are books, articles, and websites available about this topic. It is too extensive to be covered in a single chapter. While upcoming chapters will give us more ideas, it is essential that you do your own research. Do use your soul and mind coordination and soul reassurance when you delve deeply into the subject, because you might not need to follow it literally. We all have different life purposes with different potentials. Note 2, shifting to the living food lifestyle is a way to restore your attention and restore your blocked energy. Note 3, I was unable to locate either the book or the website referenced above. They may only be available in Russian or the references are outdated. For English speakers, you may get better results if you search for raw food instead of living food. And then thanks to Mohil, Bashir, Teodora, Tirza, Abdegafor, and me for reading this lesson. Okay, so Those last notes were obviously either provided by Tirza or Mohil. Again, do what's good for you. Pay attention to how food makes you feel. I did the raw diet in between a year and a half, and I have to say it was absolutely hands down the worst diet for me. I was constantly struggling with digestion issues. I was lethargic. I had no energy. My stomach was always doing weird stuff. I felt heavy. I weighed down. I was depressed. I mean, it was like the worst diet for me, right? My diet super high in fat, super high in saturated fat. I eat a ton of butter. I eat a ton of dairy. I eat a ton of steak and lean beef, grass-fed beef. I eat a ton of leafy greens, vegetables, things that are highly nutritional, like sprouted seeds and raw nuts and seaweed and things that have dense minerals and nutrients. This is what works for me. I occasionally allow myself a plate of tacos, a pizza, a hamburger, a slice of chocolate cake, some candy, but my focus is on really eating a ton of nutritional stuff. And then the bad foods are sort of my entertainment or my guilty little vice that I get into on the weekends. This is what works for me. Probably not for everyone. Might be for you. Raw diet might be for you, might not be for you. Something else might be for you. Something else might not be for you. It's about finding what works for you. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Comments and questions below, and I'll see ya next time. Bye, guys.